Collation, what's that? That's something that deals with sorting, among others. And it's a Microsoft, no sorry, it's a MySQL thing, probably available in other SQL solutions as well. I don't know, I never used them. But if we look at the table here, this is a table created specifically to deal with Swedish and the Swedish way of sorting letters. This is the same table created without any consideration of sorting at all, which means that I will get a default collation called UTF-8 general _ CI. So I still get a collation, but it might not do the result that I want. Let's check it out. I made this table here, and I filled it with names representing each character available in the Swedish alphabet. And this is the sorting I got when I retrieved those records. Starting with A and ending with Ö, which is perfectly all right. That's how we want it in Sweden. We want Åsa, Erling, and Örjan to be down here. We don't end at said as you would. Sorry, English would. But when I did the same in this table, I got this result. Adam at top, that's okay, but then it considers these peculiar letters to be A as well, and sort them as such, which is definitely wrong. If this was a Swedish phone book, people would get very confused. Where's Örjan? Well, he's not down here. He's like 200 pages further up, here. That's not good. So, collation is important when you're not English speaking, or you're dealing with data that is not English. Keep it in mind. If you don't set a char set, and you don't set a collation in MySQL, since this is a Swedish invention, MySQL is a Swedish product originally, you actually get Swedish collation as default. So, we like that. I've seen when I searched around for input for this seminar, I found a lot of postings that where people, why the hell am I having Swedish collations in my tables? I'm not from Sweden, I've never been there, never going to go there. But the reason is that, well, MySQL is Swedish. When it comes to settings in Lasso, it's simple again, because wherever it's asking you what encoding you want, the answer is easy. For 8.5, you can find these settings here and here. That's places you should look. And if you create a new table, whether you do it in the database browser interface or you do it by sending create statements directly to MySQL, they are not considered to be UTF-8 by default in Lasso. They are set to Latin 1 or ISO 8851-1. So whenever you've done a change in your database, in your table, you have to make sure to go back here and check the settings. A question, you're awake, I'm glad to see you. Hi.
If you already have a running database with Latin coded text in it, can you convert it using the Lasso settings?
An advantage with UTF-8 is that as long as you're keeping to the Latin 1 char set, they are the same. So if this data is stored as Latin 1 and there's nothing else than what Latin 1 understands, then changing it to UTF-8 won't affect your data in any way. And this is an issue. This is an area where Bill should chime in, but I've had no issues setting it afterwards. There could be another version of this around, because this is a complicated area. And it happens peculiar stuff with encoding. But the standards ASCII 8-bit as interpreted as Latin 1 and UTF-8 are the same regarding the safe characters. That's one of the advantages with UTF-8. So, yeah. We are here because we are curious about LDC09, of course. Here's what you have to think about when it comes to LDC09 and character encoding. I asked Fletcher, he was sitting idly in the sofa drinking a cup of coffee, and I asked him how to do it, and he said, well, it should be the same. And he sipped a bit more of his coffee. But in the admin interface that we have available when we download and test LDC09 today, doesn't offer any possibility to handle encoding at all. There's no settings for that. But once the interface is completed, it should be available, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it'll probably default to UTF-8.
Oh, that's great. I had one part of the chain left, and that was files created on uploaded and downloaded. And I don't have anything smart to say about uploaded files because, well, in my world they tend to work. So, but when I create a file, this is a code snippet that Bill gave me that worked very well dealing with Excel exports. I do that a lot. I take reports and I export them as an Excel file. And I had issues when they were being used on Windows machines. So with this code snippet that I then reused in other instances, that solved itself. If it was a Macintosh browser, then, well, just set it to UTF-8 and it will work. This is the important part here. This is just to give it a name. If it was something else, that means Linux or Windows, this code snippet here solved the encoding issues that showed up in Excel otherwise. I'm not sure that this is needed if it's not an Excel export, but I still use it. This is kind of a bit to the left of my competence profile, so I'm using it without knowing why. You don't have to write this down. I'm making the presentation available. As soon as I'm done, I'm going to mail it to Fletcher to put it on the website.
Jolle, this looks like code for iCal, not for Excel.
Yeah, it is, because this is, I'm going to hold a seminar about iCal and the tags this afternoon, and I took it directly from the application that I have there. But when I do it for Excel, I'm just changing, I'll just have another name for the variable, and I'm changing this to, you remember what it's when it's in an Excel file?
XLS.
Yeah, but that's the file suffix, but you have to send it as an Excel type, file type. So it's application, but it's something else in this part here.
Yeah, like VNV.ml.
Something like that, yeah. I can make that available, that information as well if you want it. It works flawlessly for Excel files. Actually, we use it a lot. Related to encoding mysteries is some other localization issues, and I'm just going to briefly show some of the problems that you can encounter.